JJ's got the keys to the blockchain breeze. He's live every day, decode the mazes. JJ's cryptic corner, where the coins keep turning. Log in now, the future's burning. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner. Pixels glow, charts flow, crypto whispers, secrets show. He cracks the code on this winding road. JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic corner, JJ's cryptic. Tune in, lean back, grab your coffee, hit the track. JJ's live, don't be late. Cryptic wisdom, seal your fate. JJ's cryptic.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Happy Thursday. How's everyone doing today? Guys, the market's a bit weird right now. I am in the middle of typing up the poll in the chat, so if you guys could direct your attention there momentarily. I have one more option to add. All right. Let's see. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I asked you guys in the poll in the chat. The everything crash is here. What's your strategy right now? You got buying the dip, holding, doing nothing, cash is king, sold it all, or short in the market? Let's freaking go. Appreciate you guys for being here. Don't forget to smash the like button. Let's get right into it. Bitcoin currently trading at $82,269.25. All right, what's going on? Philly, Tom Selleck scoped. Gourmet Brands Brooklyn. Appreciate you guys for being here. Let's refresh our liquidation heat map and see what's going on. What's the word? The bird is the word. Pretty interesting price action today. Like, obviously, we're not expecting crypto to do anything great, but everything else going down was quite a surprise, and I still personally not entirely sure why. 81,550, 81,550, 81,550. All right, and then go all the way down here. 80,365, and then the top portion to the upside. I'm gonna put 3 up here. 82,809. 82,809. There's a big guy right here. I want to get that. 84,884. And the very tippy top. Do you guys think we're going to have a government shutdown on Saturday? 87,402. I think they're going to reach an agreement. But I did cash out my Kalshi bet. Doubled my money. Taking profits while they're there. Pretty cool stuff. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. I think that the conference is so-and-so going to say this word. Bets are my favorite because they're so obscure. Like, is Trump going to say beans at his next press conference or something goofy, you know? It's just too funny. I can't imagine how cool would it be to be like a reporter and to be like able to ask the president questions or Jerome Powell questions and bet on the market. How cool would it be, basically, to insider trade, to manipulate the market? That would be sick. Imagine making money. All right, Bitcoin 82, 341 and 60 cents. We got a lot of sell volume, tons of sell volume. Supposedly there's some options expiration happening tomorrow, the largest in the world or in history or something like that. Every time we get an options expiry, it's always the biggest one ever, and nothing ever happens. And I don't know. I'm at a point now where the options expiry to me just seems like a meme. Like there's kind of no point in even knowing that it's gonna happen. But we got a oversold RSI in the 4-hour time frame. Not that this matters. We've had it twice already. This is number 3. Does look like we broke below 30 and then rejected it, which is really interesting. How low is it going to go? Price 82,277. I suppose we're looking for 80K next. We got a wick. The wick goes down to 81,118 so far. So let's see if we go any lower than that. But that RSI, that bearish cross on that RSI, and that push down is quite interesting. Well, actually, no. Technically speaking, right now, if we get any kind of reversal, we would have some nice 4-hour bullish divergence. So that's something to keep in mind for if we do get a reversal. But if we go down further, then we could invalidate that divergence. So keep an eye on it for sure. Let's see. Tom Salkscott said first to like, boom, everything. Nice. Philly said, I have massive shorts with crypto, so I'm making a few bucks. Gourmet said, whose idea was to manifest the Wyckoff? Actually, that was Marty Party. Marty Party actually is nailing it so far with his Wyckoff. Philly said, Tom, hello, sir, Gourmet. What's up, Philly? Already said they did reach an agreement. Yes, but the Kalshi bet is what's interesting. And they said they reached an agreement and they're not going to vote until Monday. But the Kalshi bet specifically is for if, let me see. It says, if the website of the U.S. Office of Personnel Management contains a notice that the government at least partially shut down on January 31st, 2026 at 11 a.m. Eastern Time due to a lapse in appropriations, then the market resolves to yes. So I have already opened and closed. They said the earliest they can get the members back to vote is February 2nd. So they are going to shut down. Regardless, allegedly, these are all rumors. I might put $5-10 in just as a gamble. It would be house money because I've already won, I think, 20 off this. I bet 20 and I doubled my money, so I got $20 back. I don't know, whatever I won basically offset my losses from the lack of a rate cut. Tom Salkscott said not finalized, but reported on. Correct. Yep. G Immortal said, sup JJ, what a day. Oh yeah, today was definitely a day for sure. That is factual. Gold looking like it's rejecting 5,600, pulling back to 5,193. Crazy to think that this is like a historic flash crash in gold. Like 6.7% on the largest asset on the planet, by the way. Gold, nothing more valuable than gold, except maybe like human life or like health insurance. If we're being realistic, groceries are a little bit expensive. But jokes aside, 6.7% pullback on gold, pretty damn crazy. That being said, this thing's had a historic run, and I don't think it's done at all. Look at these wicks. People are scooping it up. So, are we going to get a prolonged sideways trend? Hopefully. I don't like it when it goes straight up only. Let's pull the fractal. I might not leave this fractal on here. I'm probably not going to leave this fractal on here, but I am going to pull the fractal. I just want to see if I can stretch this out and make this fit. Because obviously, even though it's more money, it is definitely playing out faster, which is usually the opposite. But can we get one of... Let's get something like that. Let's see if that plays out. That would be really, really interesting. So, actually, I really like that because it holds 5K as well. I don't know. Let's see what plays out. We got our little sideways trend. I like to use the scaffolding analogy. You can go up only. You can build scaffolding and maybe get to like a couple 100 feet with like a single or a double width-wise. But if you want to go any higher than that, you got to go back down and start from the bottom again and build more scaffolding. So if we go straight up, it's going to be wobbly and dangerous. But if we build our nice foundation and we slowly build up with our scaffolding, and we can get to the top and continue higher, and it'll be safe still. Contractor analogy. I got calluses on my hands. Okay, silver. $110.60. Also, historic pullback ish. Let's see, from candle body to candle body, we're currently down 7%. Pretty crazy. We also got a bunch of wicks here as well. We actually, what's interesting is we filled this wick. Did we do that on gold as well? Gold actually did not have that wick, so never mind. So we filled this wick, which is kind of cool. Now we're getting a pullback. Are we going to do a fractal thingy over here as well? See, with silver, it's interesting. Does gold have that same thing? Yeah, no, gold's this, like, I don't know, gold's definitely been a more steady rise, it seems, compared to silver. Silver definitely had a bigger, longer pit stop right there compared to gold. But I like this big trend down here. Are we going to get something like that now that we're way higher value? I don't know. Tom Selleck said, I don't want to hear about volatility in crypto ever again. We need a pullback. Shit's been stupid. G Immortal said, what's your opinion on the new potential Fed chair? So there's two people right now, according to betting markets, which, you know, they're fun to play in, but I don't like it when people base everything that they say and do on the betting markets. But according to, let me see. According to Polymarket right now, the next Fed chair nominee, we got Kevin Warsh at 91%, followed by Rick Ryder from BlackRock, I think, at 5%. Rick Ryder one is kind of silly to me. Kevin Warsh, I think Kevin Warsh is a little bit silly too. I don't know. They're all very silly. Is this an insider? Because we're getting, like, tomorrow, the guy Trump is allegedly naming somebody, and 29th at 7 p.m. Yeah, today at 7 p.m. out of nowhere, Kevin Warsh jumped from 36% all the way up to 65, and now he's at 91. So, and with that, Rick Ryder's odds fell to 5%, which is insane. So I'm not quite sure what to make of this. I feel like these markets are so easy to manipulate. Am I crazy? Bill Pulte being on there is kind of hilarious. I don't know why he would ever be a Fed chair. He likes Trump though, so maybe that's why. But we got Kevin Warsh and Rick Ryder. I don't really have an opinion on it, to be completely honest. I think that they're both kind of silly. The two options that we have. As long as they cut rates, I don't really care. Crypto Spaces said, good night, chat. Good night, Crypto Spaces. Appreciate you for stopping by. Calvin said, not a financial guy, but gotta think precious metals are at or near a bubble burst. Fascinating stuff. See, the counter argument would be, is it a flight to safety? And maybe not like a flight to safety, like, oh no, we're going into like a 2008 financial crisis or like a Great Depression, but a, oh no, the value of the dollar is about to plummet, and the next best thing is gold. Like if the dollar is at the top of the food chain, and then you got gold and silver, and then whatever else, like Chinese currency, Japanese yen, whatever else, you know, the next freaking other dollars. If this is going poo-poo, then you're going to go into these, you know, and then everyone's probably going to disregard these because clearly the paper currency doesn't work. They want hard assets. So that's the argument there, Peter Schiff W, right? Yeah, he's up what, 100% for the past 30 years. Good for him. Good for him. Thinks we have a crisis worse than 2008. Yeah, that's because it's in his best interest. He's got to offload some of that gold. He's probably crying that he finally saw some green. I'd be freaking out too. Calling for some global meltdown. Gold is flight to safety. It is. That is true. That's what I mean. I don't know if it's a flight to safety from a economic standpoint. I think it might literally be the dollar, the value of the dollar going down. So I suppose you could make the argument that that's a flight to safety from an economic standpoint, but to me it just seems more cyclical. Bitcoin dominance 59.2. We did lose 59.5, which is good for altcoins, bad for the entire market, because in this scenario, it's not like altcoins are going up against Bitcoin. It's like altcoins are just going down less. Derek said, "Sup, JJ?" What's going on, Derek? Happy Thursday, my friend. Guys, tomorrow is Friday, which means we can finally chill. I feel like it's been, I don't know, it's been a busy week outside of work. So I guess I'm glad to be rid of work for a couple of days so that way I can stress out about the economy and the investments in peace. Cheers. Oh, delicious. Okay. CryptoSpaces said Bitcoin isn't digital gold. What is it? See, that's the other problem. Bitcoin is holding up quite nicely. All things considered, Bitcoin, at the end of the day, ran like crazy. The argument could be made that Bitcoin front ran all of this bad scenario. Yeah, see, we're breaking down. I don't want to be a doomer, but unfortunately, at least right now, it does seem as if the weenies were correct about their little bearish. Where the hell is it? I have like 85 charts. Their stupid fractal from 2021, which is the most boring outcome. So I hope that, yeah, this crap right here, they're gonna be like, oh my god, we were told you, which is fine. You know, they get to be right. I don't think it's gonna go all the way down to. I mean, I hope it doesn't go all the way down to 60K. That would suck, but I have been looking for 70. 70 is my bottom, my crypto winter bottom is what I'll call it. I do think that this is gonna not last as long as the previous bear market. Not for any reason other than the fact that we got a ton of bullish catalysts coming up, including a new Fed chair. But as of right now, I'm going to embrace reality and go ahead and say we are for sure in a proper bear market, and the 4-year cycle played out in the way of Bitcoin and Bitcoin only, but I think it's going to be invalidated when the bear market doesn't last a full 12 months, and instead of having to wait until October 5th, 2026, we're gonna start climbing, or we're gonna bottom much sooner than that. At least that's my educated guess at the moment. But great prices, and as I've said a bunch of times before, if you're new as well, don't take this as me being like, oh, sell everything and go away forever. Obviously, if you feel overexposed and you want to de-risk, that's all you. No shame in that whatsoever. Don't ever let people shame you for selling. Even if you're like acting out of emotion and stuff, they're like, oh, you idiot, you sold? What? I don't know. They don't get anything out of it. You don't get anything out of it. There's no point in people being like that. It's weird. Tell them that they're being weird for talking about your money. Tell them to chill. It's okay. I personally, my experience, having gone through last bull market, the bear market, and now whatever this is supposed to be, this market, I made more money in my entire life ever coming out of the previous bear market than I did during the previous bull market. So I am excited for that. It's a very easy opportunity to take advantage of. CryptoSpaces said, it's terrible for payments. It's not acting like digital gold. So what now? And altcoin should flip Bitcoin. That does everything better. Maybe Solana. I think Solana's problem right now is the validators. Validators are living at a rapid pace. G Immortal said, have you seen VIX and the potential Fed chair at Polymarket rip the same time? Any opinion? What's coming? Volatility. Definitely volatility. I do not know what Fed chair is going to come. I do think that they are going to cut rates. I don't know if they're going to cut rates rapidly, you know. I think that in order to stage it like the Fed is still independent when the new guy takes over, Trump is going to call for rates to be set at 0 or something. He's going to be like, rates need to be at 0. And the new guy's going to be like, no, we're only cutting rates by 50 basis points. And Trump is going to be like, you bastard, I made you. And you know, behind closed doors, they're going to be like, nice, dude. Oh my gosh, when you said you bastard, that was so crazy. What's going on, Tyler? Cheers, my friend. Long time no see. Hope you're doing well. Happy Thursday. Enjoying your engraving kit. Guys, Mr. Tyler was once upon a time a frequent attendee in the chat, and he did actually win last year's daily close contest total at the end of the year, and his prize was a Bitcoin seed phrase engraving kit. And the seed phrase was stash, cope, money, bad, down, poor. Just kidding. That is actually someone's seed phrase who's watching, and they're like, what the heck? How does he know? We're getting sidetracked. All right. ETH down 2.96% on the day. Currently trading at $2,739.15. We lost 3K. Looking for 2,500 next as our next potential support for strictly psychological reasons. We're getting to the point now where structure does not matter. Obviously, like the dump is a structure, but it's all going to be news-based. People are looking for a government shutdown. We're looking for conflict in Iran. We're looking for the Federal Reserve conflicts. Who knows what's going on? But it is midterm uncertainty. I think as we get closer to midterms, I think they're setting the stage right now. And this is kind of what, in my opinion, what Trump did when he first got in. As soon as he got in, he was like, I'm going to shake things up. And everyone freaked out. The market dumped like crazy. Trump comes in, he's like, I'm going to shake things up. The market goes way down. And then he doesn't really do anything. And then the market recovers like crazy. And then he starts doing stuff, and he's like, look at what I did. Your market is higher than it was when I first got in, because when I got in, it was way down here, and that was the other guy's fault. I think right now, he's setting it up because short-term recency bias, right now we're all pissed. Prices are going to be way down, and then midterms are going to get closer and closer, and as they do, he's going to send it skyrocketing. In reality, it might only go up, what is that? 2, 3, 4, 5%. But everyone's going to have recency bias, and they're going to be like, oh my gosh, President Trump gave us a 30% return on Bitcoin. We're definitely going to vote for Republicans come midterms, and the recency bias is going to determine the vote. Now, I don't know if that's actually how it's going to play out. That's me totally guessing. Calvin said, thanks for the discussion, guys. The time to tune in. Have a great night. Take it easy, Calvin. Appreciate you for stopping by. Happy Thursday, my friend. See you tomorrow. But yeah, that's just me guessing. It's going to be interesting. It is. 2026 is a big year for midterms specifically. But Crypto Spaces said, I mean, he got the S&P to new all-time high. That's true. Just the crypto bros are down bad. And that, again, is recency bias as well. My favorite thing is when I see arbitrary charts. They're like, Bitcoin underperforming, gold outperforming Bitcoin on the 5-year time frame. They have to specify that, because if you look at, when was Bitcoin created? 2008, 2009. I think it was 2009. If you look at 2009, 2010, start from 2009, 2010, and Bitcoin's return since then, and compared to everything else, Bitcoin has outperformed everything. Every single time Bitcoin has outperformed. But if you choose an arbitrary time frame where gold haven't outperformed Bitcoin, then yes, gold looks great. There, again, is the recency bias. So nobody's going to take advantage of these bad prices. We're eventually going to recover, whether it takes a month, 6 months, a year, we are eventually going to recover. And all of us who are, bitching and moaning but still buying are going to be filthy rich, like before the bull market even starts next time. And everyone else is going to be like, how are you so calm? Because the market's going to go up like crazy, and then it's going to go down a little, up like crazy, down a little. And every time it goes down a little bit, the little guy that bought here and right here is going to freak out because he's going to be down 5-10%. And here, freak out because he's going to be down 5 or 10%. Meanwhile, we bought during like all of this. Let's say we bought right here, we were down like 90%. But now we're up like 10,000%. It's all recency bias, man. It really is. Like Fenrir said, there's still a huge selling when Iran attack. That's true too. The geopolitical uncertainty. Notice how there was a ton of FUD and like discourse around the Ukraine, the war in the Ukraine. There's still no peace deal. They're still fighting over there. But the markets are hitting all-time highs every other day. that again is recency bias. If there's an attack, everyone's like, oh my gosh, World War III. Once everything settles and there's no longer uncertainty, but they're just like, Russia and Ukraine are fighting way over here. That doesn't really affect the New York Stock Exchange, right? So then they start buying again. Every single time. People are short-sighted. They really are. That's why the people that make money are the people who have patience. They're able to just buy and keep buying. They sit through all the craziness. They don't try to time anything. They're not trying to like read emotions and figure out like if Trump is in a bad mood tomorrow or whatever junk. They just dollar cost average. And that's why that strategy will always trump, pun intended, every other strategy. It's the simplest, and you probably live longer because you're not stressed out, tweaking all the time. Solana, we did talk about this going all the way down to 100. We're at 114 right now. We're pretty damn close, actually. We broke below our neckline, which I'm going to start calling a legacy neckline now because it's a couple years old. Neckline goes way back, way over here. There was an inverse head and shoulder that got us to new all-time highs just before everything topped out. But this was the upper trend line. This is the neckline. This is the lower trend line. Big, broad trend. We tried to get above the upper trend line, lost the neckline, eventually rejected it, and now we're continuing to the downside. Which, when there's a big move like this, always expect a return, even if it's just to liquidate the late shorts, and then they liquidate the late longs. And it happens the same way every single time. As of right now, if we do end up getting any kind of reversal anytime soon, then we will technically have bullish div available in the chart to us. But we got to keep an eye on it because the RSI is getting pretty close. And if it does touch that 20 level, then that will invalidate the possibility of that bullish divergence. And again, that's just on the 4-hour time frame as well, so it will be shorter term. And it would technically only signal a short-term reversal, longer-term downtrend with the RSI climbing. Total 3 down 1.9%. This, again, is why dominance is dropping so hard. Because alts are actually holding up. I genuinely believe retail is gone from the space entirely. There's no retail left. Institutions loaded up. There's retail left in Bitcoin because Bitcoin's foundation was built on retail. So Bitcoin can fluctuate a little bit more. That makes a little more sense. Plus, I think most of the people that finally abandoned ship on altcoins fled to precious metals, stock market, betting market, and just Bitcoin. They're probably Bitcoin maxis now. Because Bitcoin outperformed in 2025. Bitcoin did amazing. Alts did nothing. So it makes sense. But I think institutions loaded up on altcoins, and the little like maybe 5-10% of altcoin holders that are retail are gonna, sell and cause little price dips and stuff. But institutions might load up. This is all speculation again, just throwing stuff out there. Crypto Spaces said only retail left are people here from 2021. Exactly. I was talking to Grok about that earlier. The entire cryptocurrency space has been labeled like unprofitable. So, unfortunately, we have to wait for like Vanguard and BlackRock to like advertise for crypto. They'll be like, crypto 401k, retire in 5 years' time if the market hits right, or some dumb crap, and then everyone's gonna be like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna give me some of that Vanguard crypto stuff. And we gotta hope that works, which sucks because that is the most anti-Satoshi, anti-crypto thing I've ever heard of. Our October 10th wick bottom on altcoins is at 766.8 billion. So if we are going to fill that wick, we gotta go down there. So we'll see where we end up. As of right now, though, 801.83. I'm assuming we're going to lose 800. We're chipping away at it. That's getting pretty hefty right now. It's just interesting that most altcoins aren't dumping as hard as you would expect with Bitcoin going down. ADA is down 2.93% on the day, currently trading at 0.32. Probably going down. I'm going to call 25 right now. Looking for 25 next. Tyler said I'm back, don't worry. Looking for 25 cents on ADA. Yeah, the wick, the October 10th wick here goes down to like 26.3 or 26.2. So maybe those wicks have to fill. Maybe I don't know. I got some spicy posts. I do thoroughly enjoy all of like the heavy hitters, like the big names in the crypto space, talking about October 10th and how literally pretty sure BlackRock or not BlackRock, Binance is responsible for whatever error caused these cascading liquidations across all platforms. So I don't know. Mark said Trump's Fed chair leak just crashed metals and crypto even further. Did it? What was the leak? Oops. Was that it? Like just now or what? Who's the Fed chair? Snack is down 3.52%. Midnight lost 54. Midnight's probably going down to 46 minimum. XRP 174. We got an upper trend line right here that we've been riding for quite some time. Are we going to bounce off that, or are we going down to 157? So we've talked about this. If we are going to bottom out here soon, that would be interesting because we got our downtrend, and we talked about the downtrend breaking out sideways, and then we get an eventual pop. And that is strictly based on previous price action that we've seen on Total 2, Total 3, Total Crypto Market Cap. Kevin Marsh is supposed to be announced tomorrow. See Zero Hedge article just released on it. All right, let's go check Zero Hedge. I gotta say, I kind of nailed it with the thumbnail today. That's a good looking thumbnail. Zero Hedge. Sorry, just raised the price of RAM by 4 cents. This is Don Rowe. Zero Hedge article. Oh boy. Create your own with Grok. Where's the actual article? Did I not click on an article link? Am I crazy? No? Chinese contract at Panama Canal. I see nothing. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, XRP looking for $1.50. If we lose 175, nice psychological level. Actually, I'll call 170. I'm going to skip a bunch. Let me know if you guys want any specific altcoins. Tyler wants to take a look at Pinlink. Does it still exist? That's actually a great question. Great question. Pinlink. Pinlink. Down 15% on the day. 1 year, 2 months, and 3 days. 15 days. Which one has most liquidity? 774K. Okay, here we go. Oof. 10 cents? Dang. This thing got decimated. I can't even look at the whole chart. Definitely at the bottom. Is it going to keep going, though? There's plenty of room for sure. It could technically go to 0. Oh my gosh. Okay, there's contracts above the main Uniswap contract. Interesting. What's the market cap? $10.5 million fully diluted value. 8.4. I mean, it is a micro cap at this point. It is a micro cap. The big benefit here for them is that they own a bunch of GPUs and stuff. But who knows what happens if they close their doors, you know what I mean? Okay, Trump reportedly to announce Kevin Warsh. Let's see. Okay, you know what? That actually makes sense as to why the stupid, why the poly market thing flipped on its head. Oh gosh, this is blinding. Okay. Trump reportedly to announce Kevin Warsh as next Fed chair. Friday morning, Bitcoin, gold tumbled, dollar soars. What is the scoop? Trump met today with his 2 finalists for reserve. Kevin Warsh to replace Jerome Powell, and is leaning toward, who's the second one? Rick Ryder? Rick Ryder was also at the White House today and is the other finalist. Oh, I'm putting some money on Rick Ryder. I am putting money on Rick Ryder. I will take that gamble all day, man. I don't care if I lose $5-10. If that's at a penny, let's go to Kalshi really quick. Excuse me, guys. Let me see. Fed chair. Powell out as chair. Who will Trump nominate as Fed chair? We've got Kevin Warsh at 91%, Rick Ryder at 5%. I am going to buy. Should I buy no Kevin Warsh? I mean, I think there's more money to be made with yes Rick Ryder. I'm just putting $10 on this bad boy. Payout, if it is him. 10 contracts? No, I want $10. Buy in dollars. $10. Yeah, $10. I lose $10. If I win, I get $156. Easy. I think that'd be hilarious. Okay, let's see if there's a big market upset. What was the dumb crap I missed today? Pickle Rick said. I'm actually not sure. And we're still trying to figure that out, man. Tyler said, I need you to speak louder. Turn your freaking phone up. I see a lot of people blaming Binance for 1010. Oh yeah, that's the consensus. There's allegedly some digital glitch that they had with like one of their stablecoin pegs, and like every major platform out there use the Binance API to I don't remember, peg a stablecoin or something like that, and it just caused cascading liquidations. I think Tom Lee said it best. He was like, was it Tom Lee? It might have been somebody else. Basically, there was a point where the market makers were like locked out and they couldn't do their thing. So the exchange had to step in and kind of be the market maker because of the issue that was caused. It's all alleged. Lunar Entity said the Kevin Warsh meeting caused quite the sell-off. Classic Trump. All right. Gourmet said I took Ryder. Let's go. Tom Salk-Scott said it wouldn't put it past Trump to leak a name to see how the market reacts and then pick the other person now that it dumped. That would be, you know what would be really funny? I like all the Barron jokes where everyone's like, oh, Barron told Dad to like pump this specific coin or whatever. I think it would be hilarious if Barron was like, Dad, can you tell everyone that you like Kevin Warsh? And then Kevin Warsh explodes and he puts his money on Rick Ryder and then he picks Rick Ryder. That'd be so funny. John Tujo said, is Michael Saylor shitting himself or what? I don't think so. Marks 5757 said, I can hear you fine. Thank you, Marks 5757. There you go, Tyler. Tyler said, it's all the way up with earbud and you're quiet. You got them dollar store earbuds. I got those too. Okay. Yes, 10 cents on, allegedly. Maybe it's like 0.1. It can't be 0.1 ETH. That doesn't make any sense. I don't know. Go check it out, Mr. Tyler. I think there's centralized exchanges where you can buy it as well. Their mining setup, they will stay afloat in this bear season. Unless, which it has happened before, very briefly, unless Bitcoin gets below its cost basis, which is like, let's say it costs Bitcoin this much money to mine it, but when you do mine it, you only actually get this much in return. If Bitcoin reaches, or the price gets below its cost basis, if it costs this much to make a Bitcoin and you're only getting this much out of it, a lot of people are going to pivot to AI. So the, what is it called? The hash rate? The hash rate is going to, or the difficulty is going to decrease substantially. And then it's going to be more attractive. So it's going to be like a teeter-totter. Lunar Entity said Saylor has a better average than a lot of holders, which is hilarious. Isn't that really funny? What's also funny is I think they have enough money to like hold out for like 2 years. Like Bitcoin could like go to zero for like 2 years and Saylor would have enough cash reserves to stay afloat and not have to worry about any junk. 2 years is a long time. I think when you go to like get a big apartment or something, they want like 3 months rent. And even that's kind of a lot, especially in this economy. Guys, don't forget to smash the like button. We live stream every single day. I appreciate you guys for being here. Silver, 109.7880. Not too bad, man. Not too bad. It's crazy that this is a pullback on silver. This thing was $23 like last year. A year ago, you could have bought silver in the 20s. That's nuts. Let's see. I think we're good to go. I am going to skip to the news segment. Silver and gold. Yeah, let's see if this fractal plays out. That'd be really funny. Just a smushed fractal. A lot more volatility. MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee. Big B Coffee? Yeah. currently 143. We talked about this going all the way down to 130, and it's well on its way there. We also know that I think it was Vanguard. I think I confirmed that yesterday because I got confused for a second, but I think Vanguard bought some for the first time ever right at this gap. So that's kind of a big deal. For some reason, Vanguard, which is one of the biggest assets under management on the planet, saw value in MicroStrategy, aka Big B Coffee, at these prices. So something to think about. Of course, they can afford for the price to go down 50% and have to wait a year and then it skyrockets. They don't really care. But maybe they're front running the early end to the bear market. Mr. Tyler said, gotta go. Love you. Bye. Take it easy, Mr. Tyler. Happy Thursday, my friend. Cheers. Guys, tomorrow's Friday. Thank God. All right. Nasdaq and the S&P both took a big fat dumperino. Both recovered very nicely. Look at this. We actually called this perfectly. It couldn't be more perfect. The original fractal on the Nasdaq called for a big rip and then a dip and then continuation like nothing ever happened. And look at that. We got a rip and a dip and we're about to get a continuation like nothing happened. We might have to wait until February, but it does look like it's playing out on a smaller scale than what we initially thought. So if we bottom out, let's say around 25.4 and then continue to the upside in between tomorrow and February 4th, I'm going to call that a win. But we'll see. They don't call me the Fractal Farquad for nothing. S&P 500. S&P 500, 69.69. Let's go. What are the odds, man? That's so sick. I got to save that. Hang on. Let me download that really quick. 6969. Dude, imagine catching it at 696969. We got a big dump, beautiful wick, indicative of some serious buying pressure. Let's see if we continue up from here. I'm not entirely sure what to make of this, to be completely honest. I was calling for the hop, skip, and a jump. Maybe one of these. We got our original fractal and then our adjusted for, not necessarily inflation, but adjusted for increased market cap, because obviously this was taken from way back when, and now there's a lot more money involved. So the moves are going to shrink over time. Extended cycle, diminishing returns, what have you. But let's see, this calling for mid-February bounce. The original one calling for mid to late February bounce. We might get neither of those. We might just do one of these and then get like early February bounce. I don't know. Regardless, the market continues to the upside. And one of my favorite things to think about like long term is when you're investing and the market's like all over the place and you're like, oh my gosh, I can't stand this volatility, whatever. Oh my gosh, this sucks so bad, blah, blah, blah. If you would have just bought right here and shut up, you'd be up a couple 100%. It's okay to take a breather, relax. You got like the 2008 financial crisis, the dot-com bubble, the pandemic. Eventually, the market increases over time. Trump accounts are about to go into effect, which is literally just an excuse to like shoehorn $1,000 per child born into the stock market. Even more if your like employer is matching that. So as long as the population keeps going, the printer keeps running, which is the Ponzi, by the way. That's the simplest way to put it. You get a higher population, so you're able to print more money, and you like just shove that money into the system and hope it eventually gets back into your pocket, and that's it. And then your kid eventually grows up and has to like fight and claw and bite to get their money back that was printed for them. I don't know. In The Sims, I think you start with 20K. In real life, you start with nothing and hope that you inherit something before you turn like 80 years old, which is quite dark. But S&P looks good. Nice recovery. We got to bounce off that moving average on the RSI. See where we end up. Bitcoin. I like the wick. We got a nice wick off 81K. Currently sitting at 82,805. Let's see if we reclaim 90 would be really funny. If we reclaim 90 would be funny as hell. Tyler, yep. Pickle Rick said they voted on Clarity Bill today. That may be it. I'm not sure if it was a Clarity Bill vote. There was a vote on something crypto from like the Agriculture Committee or something like that. I don't know. It was confusing. But talk about it in the news segment, which we're going to get to right now. As always, guys, don't forget to smash the like button. Appreciate you guys for being here. Happy Thursday. We do live stream every single day. Subscribe if you're new. Love to have you. We got Microsoft stock falling over 7% after reporting Q4 2025 earnings with a slowdown in cloud growth. Gold futures just both rose $120 an ounce and fell $100 an ounce in total of 20 minutes. That's 1.5 trillion swing in 20 minutes. This is the world's safe haven asset moving like crypto. That's a lot of money. A lot of money, a lot of volatility. Gold's volatility is up to 2008 levels. I think we read this yesterday, didn't we? A lot of volatility. 2008 levels is definitely an interesting date metric for sure. Definitely paying attention to that. SpaceX to reportedly merge with XAI, which I think is code for one of them is running out of money, probably XAI, and they need SpaceX's money. And the easiest way to get SpaceX's money is to just merge. Then they can all work cohesively. I don't know why Elon doesn't just merge everything. Lunar Entity said Kevin Warsh, the man who likes to postulate on the end of history, though through an economic lens. Fascinating pick. Is that the guy that looks like the doctor from freaking Human Centipede 2? Kevin Warsh. No, okay. No, this is like Justin Trudeau 2.0. He kind of looks like a creep. I don't trust anybody with thick, beautiful hair. Not for any reason. I'm not bald or anything. I don't have a receding hairline since high school. What? Why would you say that? That's such a weird, specific thing to say. Tom Selleck said Elon is 100% going to try to merge everything. He's going to eventually try to use Tesla's dollars to fund the other projects. I mean, it's an easy thing to do. If you have a really successful project over here, and this project sucks, but you're like excited about it, and this project has a bunch of money, you just gotta just smush them together like peanut butter and jelly. $105 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 60 minutes. That was yesterday, apparently. Silver reaches all-time high of $120. What did silver go to? What is silver's current all-time high right now? Because this is crazy. Current all-time high in silver is $121.64. Wow. Current all-time high on gold is $5,598.75. Whew. That's crazy, man. Tom Selleck said, not exciting if you're a Tesla shareholder. I mean, if you get dividends, why do you care? He's been like ridiculously successful. Do you get dividends? I do like the idea of them being like, we're not making cars anymore. We're making robots. Imagine in the future, instead of us driving places, we just piggyback ride on a robot. Or like, what are those things called? I said it the other day. Those stupid carts. Let me see. Hold on. The rickshaw. Imagine a rickshaw with a robot. Yeah, everyone just has these bougie rickshaws. And the robot's just like running down the street pulling you. Oh man, what a weird future. It's like medieval times. Like some weird cyberpunk future. Let's see what's next. Metaplanet to raise $137 million to buy more Bitcoin. Guys, I am actually in the middle of funding rounds right now. I am trying to raise $150,000 to buy a house. So, donation links in the description. Feel free to contribute. You guys get zero benefits. I will send you an email though. I can send you a personal email that says, you helped JJ buy a house. And then you can hold on to that forever. Maybe you could sell it in the future. And I'm famous for owning a home. SEC Chair Paul Atkins says, now is the right time to open the $12.5 trillion 401k retirement market to crypto. That's interesting. What is crypto's total market cap? Total market cap, crypto cap, 2.79 trillion. Well, looks like that fractal was a fail. Are we going to hold 2.7 though? As long as the median holds. See, I don't like that we broke below that trend line, that long-term trend line. Tom Selleck Scout said, bet you didn't like Trump's comments today about housing prices. Oh yeah, no, it bugged me. It definitely bugged me. He was like, he said something about like people, he doesn't want people to be able to buy a house that didn't work hard for, or some crap. I don't know, man. I'm not going to talk about it. Eventually, I'm going to be morbid for a second. Old people die. Old people just die. And then you get their stuff. Is that morbid? Absolutely. Is the average first-time homebuyer in their 40s right now? I'm pretty sure. Am I in my 40s right now? No. Am I trying to buy a house? Yeah. Yep. Yes, I am. Maybe I need to identify as a 40-year-old. Mark 5757. God, this chart is so messy. I apologize to anyone new that shows up and thinks that I'm like a coherent, functional human being to listen to. What's interesting is we have breaks of this trend line, so it's not the end of the world. In order for it to not be the end of the world, though, for me personally, just for this stupid pattern, which is probably going to be irrelevant anyways, but in order for me to have a little bit of copium, a little bit of hope, I would like to see a swift recovery and then a return to our stupid little trend line. That would make me happy. But we're getting distracted. Let me back to the news. Bitcoin liquidating some bears, actually. We got our first liquidation hit right there on that green. So I'm going to move that really quick. Mark said, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a move in the metals considering the recent gains. I'll take the RSI moving back to respectable levels now for my crypto. Right. Lunar Entity said, as the commercial estate market begins to roll over, potentially collapsing next year, you might see residential follow suit. I think the problem with that is that I've been hearing about this great housing crash that's going to be coming for 20 years. 83,170. 83,170. Like, no joke. It's going to be my luck at this point where I'm going to just settle, get what I can afford. I'm going to get some like little crack den that I'm going to have to fix up. And then as soon as that happens, the housing market is going to implode. And they're going to be handing out houses for free. Only to first-time home buyers. So I won't qualify at that point. I'm just saying. That's going to be my luck at that point. Lunar Entity said, the administration attempts a soft landing by maintaining the housing will assuredly fail. Possibly even implode. Good. Good. Sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. Gourmet said, do a tokenize incentive for investors. I don't want to meet Kevin. He talks about house hack way too much, man. I try to listen to him for like news, and he's like, house hack, coupon code, use this coupon code house hack. And like, it started as a meme, and it just slowly devolved into like house hack with meet Kevin, and sometimes there's news. It's too much. Too much for me. Watcher Guru, SEC Chair Paul Atkins. You ever read that? Okay. President Trump said Fed Chair Jerome Powell is a moron. We should be paying lower interest rates than any country in the world. I love it. These are my favorite to read because it's like the most high school shit ever. He's like, I don't like him and he's stupid and dumb. $140 million worth of crypto longs liquidated in the past 60 minutes, 13 hours ago. Bitcoin falls under 85K as $430 million is liquidated from the crypto market in the past 60 minutes, 12 hours ago. 0 Democrats voted in favor of advancing crypto market structure legislation in the Senate Agriculture Committee. It still passed. I think 12 versus 11 was the final number. U.S. Senate blocks spending package, bringing government closer to shutdown. President Trump to announce new Fed chair to replace Jerome Powell next week. And then I think he said he's going to do it tomorrow morning. Senate Agriculture Committee advances crypto market structure legislation. Let's go. SEC and CFTC expected to sign agreement on crypto oversight. There's too much crypto things happening now, and the prices are just dumping further. So, I don't know. It's this weird posturing for sure. Bitcoin falls under 84K. Paul Atkins says regulators are ready to provide clear crypto rules. No, they're not. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev meets with the U.S. government to discuss crypto market structure legislation. Let me read that again. Robinhood CEO Vlad Tenev meets with the U.S. government to discuss crypto market legislation. Why the hell would we want that slimy fuck anywhere near crypto? He literally has had nothing to do with crypto ever. He like added it to his website or to his stupid little platform. I don't know. That one bugged the crap out of me. That one really irked me. I don't want him anywhere near it. I'm not a fan. Elon Musk's SpaceX in talks to merge with XAI before IPO, according to Reuters. Is it going to be SpaceX AI? Wow. And you know what? That's probably exactly what it's going to be. It's kind of clever. $200 billion wiped out from the crypto market cap in the past 24 hours. Wow, that's a lot of money. Can I have like a couple $100K? El Salvador buys $50 million worth of gold. Not Bitcoin, El Salvador? Interesting. Crypto czar David Sachs says the U.S. is one step closer to becoming the crypto capital of the world, which means we aren't the crypto capital of the world. Isn't he? Yeah, he's the crypto czar. Shouldn't he be removed? Because he's failed. I'm just saying. Adam Z photography for your cycle, wasn't it? Technically, so far, it was a 4-year Bitcoin cycle, yes. As of right now, we are entering a bear market. I personally am of the belief that the bear market's not going to be 12 months long, but the Republicans might lose the midterms if everything collapses. There's definitely a mixed bag of consensus right now. I do like silver and gold. I'm a big fan of silver and gold's performance right now. Been a nice little vacation from the cryptocurrency death that we've been witnessing, but I have faith. Like I said, made more money coming out of the bear market in the past than I made during the bull market. Both bull markets now, so I don't know. I do enjoy the fact that TA is kind of useless now. Tom Selleck said Robinhood gonna get half of the Trump accounts apparently. Oh, that's disgusting. I'm so not a fan of Robinhood at all after the GameStop stuff. I think that they should be not involved in anything. Lunar Entity said the only reason I suggest that is that Trump's comments follow closely after the cracks in commercials started to cause concern. Perfectionism usually precedes the death knell. Interesting. I like it. Credit cycle favored CapEx spending in AI over crypto. Makes sense. Last credit melt up heavily favored crypto. Cryptos are, you read that OpenAI plans to IPO in Q4. I don't think that they're going to be around in Q4. It sounds like they're hemorrhaging cash. Raoul Paul posted, everyone in crypto now says we can't have nice things while Nasdaq, gold, silver, copper, and EM rip higher. As ever, zoom out. This is the divergence versus NDX. It barely registers. 2020 had something similar. 2020, we got a little bit of divergence. 2025, 2026, a little bit of divergence. So I like it. I like his reasoning here. Bitcoin versus Nasdaq 100. So let's see if that continues. Also, the gap in Bitcoin GMI, global total liquidity, barely registers, but we saw similar in 2015 and 2020. There's nothing abnormal about this current disconnect. Liquidity is rising. All you require is patience, and the market should catch up in time. I think that the problem is none of that liquidity entered the crypto space in the past 3 years, and that is a cause for concern for altcoins. Bitcoin Wyckoff accumulation update for Marty Party. So far, he has nailed it. We talked about him adjusting, which you can adjust. The market changes. But he got January 15th was Pico top, and now he's calling for January 30th, which is literally tomorrow. Pico bottom around 80K. So pretty crazy to watch this actually play out in real time. We've been updating that every single day. If you haven't already, go give Marty Party a follow. He deserves a little bit of credit for that. That's a good one. If it plays out. Remember, tomorrow is the biggest crypto options expiration in history. Max pain is 90K. Options expire at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is literally my bedtime, so that'll be cool. Gourmet said, gotta run, guys. Have a good night. All take it easy. Gourmet Brands of Brooklyn. I appreciate you for stopping by. Cheers. COMEX silver inventories are falling. Silver inventories in COMEX warehouses have fallen 34 million ounces from their high to 415 million ounces, the lowest since March 2025. The stockpile has dropped 117 million ounces, or 22%, since September's peak. Falling silver inventories indicate strong physical demand as short sellers struggle to find actual metal to deliver against their futures contracts. When these traders cannot find enough physical silver to buy, they have to pay higher prices demanded by sellers. Interesting. This pushes silver prices even higher, which then forces more traders to buy it to avoid losses, tightening market conditions even further. The silver short squeeze is in full swing. That's hilarious. Tom Selleck-Scout said, Marty Party gets a follow if we pump tomorrow. Right. Exactly. Let's see. Lunar Entity said, I think I said this a few streams ago, but most of the VCs that funded a lot of these coins in 2010 and 2011 exited in 2022, some in 2021. You think they stayed around for 10 years? That's crazy. JPM locked up their silver a couple weeks before this rally. That is interesting. Very, very interesting. My little conspiracy brain wants to think that this might be some form of manipulation and like global political theater. Simply for the fact that I think I'm bored. Crypto used to have all kinds of fun stuff happening all the time. Now we're looking at like the global macro events, and it's all the same thing. Every other week there's either like some war or tariffs, or somebody said something mean, or some like military's moving somewhere. It's all the same. It's just boring. That's like all it boils down to. It's just boring politics. Copper prices surged to their highest level on record, now up another 9% this month. When everything is at record highs, it should tell you something. Guys, literally bought my little copper bar. It's a perfect time. And I'm pretty sure it's more than double the price now, which is pretty sick. It was almost, I think it was like, I was probably up 40% or 60% when it arrived in my mailbox. Mark said, no, you're on the right thought. This seems like manipulation to me also. Lunar Entity said, VCs usually have anywhere from 5 to 15-year time horizon on investments in emergent technology or markets. Nice. They probably made so much freaking money, dude. That's why the stock market's pumping. They probably just re-injecting that into their traditional markets, which is crazy to think about. Commodities are rising 5% each across the board almost every day now. Gold, silver, copper, platinum at record highs. Energy prices are rebounding, and the S&P 500 is at 7K. When we said own assets or be left behind, this is exactly what we meant. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Have you been paying attention? Did Powell and Trump just agree on something? President Trump yesterday. U.S. dollar is doing great. Fed Chair Powell today. Gold rally doesn't mean much macroeconomically. Apparently, it's completely normal when the U.S. dollar loses 11% in 12 months and gold adds $1,000 an ounce in 28 days. What a time to be an investor. I like it when they're just like, we can just print money and it's fine. And they're just like open and honest about it. They're like, we don't really give a shit. Your dollar's dropping. Don't own the dollar, dumbass. Not that big of a deal. Silver prices above $120 an ounce for the first time in history. Now up 68% this month. Silver just quadrupled the S&P 500's 2025 return in 29 days. Very cool. U.S. oil prices surged towards $65 a barrel and hit their highest level since September 29th as President Trump ramps up threats against Iran. I think, what do I have? Two or 3 days? I have tomorrow and Saturday for the leader of Iran to like no longer be the leader of Iran without dying. I need him to not die. That is very specific. And then I think I'll make a little bit of money. Not much. I think I make like $20. But it's fun. I'm enjoying myself. If you guys are bored in crypto as well and you want to play along, Kyashi, sign up there. We both get $25 when you sign up with the referral code in the description and you deposit and bet with $25. It is non-withdrawable site credit. Helps support the channel. And it's fun. But it is gambling. So treat it like gambling. And if you have a gambling addiction, probably don't touch it. Don't go anywhere near it. Subscribe if you're new. CoinMarketCap, Fear and Greed, 28. I think this moves literally every day. I try to fix it, but it's just a pain in the ass to deal with. I don't even know what this is looking at. The other one, The one next to the chart. Okay, let's get back to it. Oil prices. President Trump said we should be paying the lowest interest rates in any country in the world. I agree. U.S. consumer confidence is collapsing. The Conference Board Consumer Confidence Index fell 9.7 points in January to 84.5, the lowest since May 2014. This marks the sixth consecutive monthly decline. This officially puts consumer confidence below 2020 pandemic levels. The Present Situation Index fell 9.9 points to 113.7, the lowest since February 2021. At the same time, the Expectations Index declined 9.5 points to 65.1, the second lowest since March 2013. This is far below the threshold of 80 that usually signals a recession ahead. Consumers earning less than $15K a year remained the least optimistic among all income groups. U.S. consumers believe the economy is in a recession. Honestly, they changed the definition of a recession, but during the pandemic, when Elon said, I think we've been in a recession for a year, I think he nailed it. And I think because of that, we're not going to see any kind of recessionary anything for at least another 2-3 years, in my opinion. I'm not a macroeconomist, though, so I'm just a random dude on the internet with a beard. Mark said, if the COMEX was truly close to breaking in silver inventories, which I'm not saying it was, but it would make sense that they would take the price to get metals back on the exchange through retail sales. Exactly. And if they can still get away with manipulating via paper, that's really easy to do. You know what else they could do without really any kind of fraud is just placing orders to spook the market. Like if you place a gigantic sell order at a price just above where it's at, everyone's going to freak out, see that, and price sell. And you could just make sure that that sell order doesn't execute. You know what I mean? A lot of whales do that in crypto. Mark said, nope, I read that. Okay. Lunar said, just as an example, initial coin offering for STG was 16 cents, but the token launched at $4. So VCs got in at 10 to 16 cents and sold all the way down from $4. Smart. My favorite so far is Ohm. Literally like selling contracts, like locked up coins at like half the price. Like if Ohm was $1, they sold like 2 million contracts at 50 cents. So this VC is like, I'm already doubling my money. I just have to wait until next year. And Ohm kept doing that. And then somebody got smart because all like 80% of the supply was taken off the market. Some smart kid that bought way the hell down there for like a couple $100 now has like $500,000. He market sells and the price just drops. That shit was crazy. You guys remember Ohm? Wonder where it's at. This one was another flavor of the week, talk of the town. Everyone's like, oh my gosh. Did you see Ohm today? Anything that goes up nonstop as soon as it launches is more than likely a scam. Look at this thing. Jeez. Those poor guys. See, all of these big fat spikes were them just like doing VC contracts. Can I get my measurement? So this guy is definitely out a shit ton of money. Wow. All right, Bitcoin 83.27 and 36 cents, gold $5,206.01, and silver $110.77. All right, shall we continue? Gold has officially overtaken the U.S. Treasuries and central bank FX reserves for the first time in at least 20 years. Global official gold holdings at market price are up to $5 trillion, surpassing foreign official treasury holdings of $3.9 trillion. Gold holdings have tripled since Q4 2019, driven by aggressive purchases by central banks and rising prices. Over this period, central banks have added 4,500 tons of gold, including unreported purchases. At the same time, foreign treasury holdings have remained unchanged. Gold is redefining the global monetary system. Damn. Lunar Entity said, yeah, the token where the owners told the market makers to manipulate the over-the-counter contracts. They immediately tried to deny it. Yeah, and then he came out and like described the situation in detail at like some podcast or something. I don't know. That one was crazy when that happened. It crashed like 84% overnight. And that's why I don't like ICP. That's why I don't like oh shoot, what's the other one? There's another one. The stupid Telegram one. Is it Telcoin? I don't remember. I don't like that one either. They're all shady, allegedly. Home buyers are canceling deals at record pace. 16.3% of home purchases were canceled in December, the highest rate for this month on record, dating back to 2017. Oh, that's too bad. Over 40,000 pending U.S. home sales fell out of contracts last month, according to Redfin. By comparison, 14.9% and 14.7% were canceled in December 2024 and 2023. Atlanta posted the highest cancellation rate. That's because Atlanta traffic sucks. At 22.5%, followed by Jacksonville and San Antonio at 20.6%. Historically elevated housing costs and rising inventory have made buyers more selective, giving them leverage to walk away for better deals. Housing market pressures are mounting. Bye. I hope it all comes crumbling down, dude. Ooh. Microsoft extends its decline to minus 12% on the day, on track for its biggest drop in nearly 6 years on slowing cloud growth. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? You know what cracks me up? People are like, I don't want my home value to go down. I do. When I buy a house, I want my home value to plummet because I don't want to pay taxes. And the higher your home is valued at, the more taxes you got to pay. If your home's cheap, you get cheap taxes. I'm just saying. And I'm buying it to live in it. It's not an investment for me. It's a house. Anyways, Microsoft, we read that. Cloud growth. Trump will announce new Fed chair next week. U.S. Senate rejects bill to keep the government open. 45 to 55 vote with another government shutdown now just 2 days away. Trump says he wants to drive housing prices up for people who own their homes. For people who own their homes, we are going to keep them wealthy. Give them money. Don't, just, I want to buy a house, man. I don't care about their freaking home values. SpaceX and XAI are reportedly in talks to merge before an IPO this year, with valuation that could exceed 1.5 trillion per Reuters. Wow. Lunar Entity said in ICP's defense, FTX deliberately manipulated the price via perpetual contracts. Price action was meant to steer people away from ICP in favor of Solana, which worked. I don't like ICP because it launched in the top 10. So regardless of manipulation, Solana was manipulated down really, really low as well as a result of FTX's fumble. So I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm also from Michigan, so as far as I'm concerned, there's only one ICP, and that's the Insane Clown Posse. You guys have Fago soda where you live? Rock and Rye is so good. China's population crisis is getting worse. China's population dropped 3.39 million people in 2025, the largest contraction since 1949. This marks the fourth consecutive annual decline. Births per 1,000 people fell to 5.6, the lowest since at least the founding of the People's Republic in 1949. Overall, there were 7.9 million births in 2025, down from 9.5 million in 2024, and 11.3 million deaths. Wow, okay, so the population is actually decreasing, up from 10.9. This puts even more pressure on the working age population, which has already been falling for 6 years. China's demographic pressures are catalyzing an economic crisis. I will say, from looking at it from a long point of view, you really got to consider exponential, perpetual growth for forever is not sustainable. We got to have some kind of system that works on something other than Ponzi-nomics. You know what I mean? I don't know. It just seems like they're taking the easy way out every chance they get. They being the government. This is absolutely insane. Gold just posted the largest daily swing in market cap history at 5.5 trillion. Between 9:30 a.m. and 10:25, gold lost 3.2 trillion in market cap, or 58 billion per minute. Then between 10:25 a.m. and 4 p.m., Gold added back 2.3 trillion, over 3 times the market cap of Bitcoin, swung in 6.5 hours or 850 billion an hour. We are witnessing one of the most historic trading opportunities of all time. Gold's volatility is above 2008 levels. So if it really is truly supply and demand, technically, in the most rudimentary way, there could be a guy selling a pound, like a 1 ounce bar of gold for, like, what's the price right now? 52? Maybe he's got it up for 53. And then everyone's like, oh my gosh, the spike in market cap is billions of dollars, when in reality, there's no one else selling. So that one guy, maybe he's representing 100,000 people, and then the other 100,000 people are demanding a buy. They're asking what people are willing to pay, so the price spikes up. That's how supply and demand works. It definitely seems like we're reaching supply and demand pressure on gold and silver, and that's why the price swings are so heavy right now, which is entertaining for sure. Senate Democrats say they've reached a deal with President Trump to fund the government and avoid a government shutdown. Interesting. President Trump is suing the IRS and U.S. Treasury for $10 billion over a leak of his tax records. This one's crazy. He's going to have so much money by the time his presidency is over, just because everyone wanted to try to prosecute him during Biden. President Trump says he's announcing the new Fed chair pick tomorrow morning. He went from next week to tomorrow morning, so I'm not sure what happened. But I think he's itching. Trueflation posted, government shutdown odds keep climbing after bipartisan Senate blocked the latest funding bill. Urgent negotiations are on their way to prevent another shutdown. Previous record-long shutdown continues to affect all government economic data releases, and through them, the Federal Reserve's core policy decisions, as we saw when Jerome Powell extensively cited the BEA PCE numbers from November and earlier as the main indicator of sticky inflation. Polymarket now predicts 92% chance of a shutdown by January 31st, but only 75% chance of a shutdown on Saturday, the same day. Both markets will resolve by January 31st. Perfect time to start using Trueflation's daily real price data that doesn't shut down when the government does. Interesting. Lunar Entity said Friday should be chaotic then. Oh yeah, Friday's going to be entertaining. Tomorrow's going to be crazy. Energy markets face renewed geopolitical uncertainty, which will likely lead to temporary spikes in U.S. inflation. Crude oil reached 65 per barrel and Brent 70 per barrel today, amid rising tension with Iran and President Trump's direct warnings to Tehran. Brent crude oil futures climbed more than 2%, the highest intraday level since September. When zooming out, this latest oil price increase is still a pretty small blip in what was generally a downtrend, but the geopolitical situation will likely be the key to keeping energy markets in check. Both oil and natural gas are also responding to declining inventories as the U.S. faces particularly severe winter weather. Natural gas daily spot prices showed the highest spike on record, but the natural gas futures somewhat stabilized after yesterday's rally. Good. I'm actually scared to get my gas bill. Platinum futures pulled back a bit today, $2,600 per ounce after a 6-day rally, but prices remain near the $2,900 all-time high. South Africa, which accounts for 70% of platinum output, faces underinvestment and logistical challenges. Another major producer, Canada, could face U.S. tariffs of 100%. I thought they already worked that out. This is directly reflected in our EV index, where platinum is one of the crucial components for electric vehicles, batteries, on the skyrocketing prices of all energy-related industrial metals: platinum, copper, nickel, lithium, palladium, and cobalt. It's not just in relation to EVs, but the predicted growth in AI, energy grids, and data center infrastructure. Damn. Big. The U.S. Senate Agriculture Committee passed its portion of the Clarity Act out of committee on a 12-11 party line vote, with no Democrats in favor. I think that's crazy. U.S. stocks also slide today, with tech leading broad market losses. Interesting. Let's see. Mark said, yeah, I think we get a continuation of today's action tomorrow. The volatility, man, the volatility. I will say it's welcome if it sticks around. If we get volatility like every 5.5 days, it's so random that I don't even, bother paying attention. But if it's volatile all the time, you can eventually trade that. And that's what I'm waiting for, man. I'm waiting for the tradable market with momentum and volume. Lunar Entity said, just going off Kevin Warsh's comments and academic rating, he gives me economic doomsday man vibes. I hate that. That sounds awful. Donald Trump said he hopes to avoid a government shutdown and will work in a bipartisan way to prevent one. Crypto trading volumes have dropped sharply, with January spot turnover on centralized exchanges at 1.1 trillion, potentially marking the lowest level since July 2025. That's not even that long ago, though. Robinhood announces an investment in Talos, assigning the firm a $1.5 billion valuation. Cool. Paul Atkins said the SEC and CFTC are preparing coordinated crypto oversight, including an expected MOU, per the Wall Street Journal. I'm not sure what MOU means, but cool, very cool. Over the past hour, nearly 167 million in long positions were liquidated across the crypto market. That was 9 hours ago. U.S. Senate failed to advance a government funding bill 45 to 55, leading a partial shutdown less than 2 days away. That was 8 hours ago. Gold is now outperforming Bitcoin over the 5-year time frame. There you go. Arbitrary recency bias time frame. Humans again lost to AI in Aster's trading tournament, with the human team down 37.29% versus 15.83% for AI agents. So both of them recorded net negatives, which means they should not be trading crypto. It's literally, even AI loses money. That's crazy. Top account P&L. So it looks like the top account at least made money, maybe? I don't know. So the Team Human top account actually made more money than Team AI top account. But altogether, the AI team made more, or lost less. Chewy said, bro, it's over. Just quit and come back in August. What are you talking about, Chewy? It's never over. The markets trade 24 hours. Crypto, gold, silver. Stock market. Can you do cooking streams now? I can't cook. Can't cook for shit. I can make crepes. I'm actually good at making crepes. I'm good at making crepes, and I can make the taco ring. That's about it. That's about all you get from me. I can give you a live stream of me like driving to the job site, building some crap outside in the freaking -1 degree weather. It was so cold today. I'm actually quite impressed though, because I bought like these boots that I have on like $300, and I was kind of bummed when I bought them, because you know, you spend $300 in boots, you're gonna be a little bit bummed. And I did not have to have toe warmers today. They're that well insulated, and they're not steel toe. It's like the composite toe, so that made that big of a difference. Nice boots, man. Cheers. Lunar Entity said more crypto people should discover stocks. We've been preaching diversity since day one. You know, like, I don't want to be a dick, but if you're investing and you're serious about investing, you should own more than one asset class. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. And, you know, we did just recently discover this. It's not like we were doing this since 2020, you know. More of like a 2023, 2024 thing, but still, better late than never, man. You gotta learn. Okay. Vlad Tenev and Tim Scott to discuss resetting government crypto regulation relations and advancing market structure clarity. Cool. El Salvador has purchased 50 million worth of gold. This one's hilarious. This might be the bottom signal. It's pretty good though. I thoroughly enjoy it. Okay. Lunar Entity said sector rotation and momentum is almost like a cheat code, right? This guy, not a fan of this guy's face. He freaks me out. OpenAI is planning a Q4 2026 IPO. I don't think I'd be able to make a business as big as OpenAI. When you get to the point where you're like losing money and you're like, well, we'll be profitable in 4 or 5 years, I guess. I don't think I'd be able to handle that mentally. I'm like, where do you get money from if you're not profitable? Who on earth would give you money? Lunar Entity said, well, where did that go? Am I on? Oh, I'm on top chat over here. Dang, that's crazy. How many people's chats did I miss? Vlad has had a hard-on for Ethereum for a long time. Okay. Crypto czar David Sachs says the Senate Agriculture Committee's vote to advance crypto market structure legislation brings us one step closer to becoming the crypto capital of the world, which was his job, by the way. Should never take you more than a year to do one thing. That's crazy. Just saying. The White House and Senate Democrats reached a spending deal to avert partial government shutdown. Interesting. Lunar Entities said OpenAI's IPO is a signal that the end is near. Their debt obligations total over $1 trillion, with only 2 to 5 billion in revenue. Yeah, they're fucked. They're so fucked. Can you, when they IPO, how do we short it? Like, they need to get tokenization done before that happens, because I want to short that shit. Decentralized as well. The DAO, latest, the DAO will become a new $220 million Ethereum security fund. Vitalik Buterin and other Ethereum OGs are repurposing unclaimed ETH from the DAO's 2016 hack to protect the ecosystem. So there's $220 million just sitting there unclaimed. And they're just like, well, we're just going to use it. That's crazy. What? That seems weird. I don't know. Kevin Warsh, see, I like that they're using it to, like, I guess, help protect the ecosystem, but I don't know. Maybe they should try to figure out proper liquid staking before they do that, because it's definitely not liquid when you have to wait to stake and then you have to wait to unstake. Not like a couple hours, like there's days. There's like a queue. If you want to unstake, you have to wait. That is literally the opposite of liquid. That is not liquid staking. I don't know who told them that was liquid staking. Kevin Warsh sees the highest odds at 87% to be nominated as Fed chair by Trump, followed by Rick Ryder at 6.3% in Polymarket. Warsh has come off as a big hawk, and I was certain the plan was to inflate the debts away rather than higher rates, so I don't know if I buy this Fed choice or he becomes a big dove for Trump. I don't know. Lunar Entity said you need to understand they took all of their partnership offerings in whole shares. They have the ability to dump 15% in AMD, NVIDIA. Oh, interesting. Okay. So everyone's incentivized to keep them afloat. Bitcoin A follows liquidity. There are 2 levels I am watching, and where I will buy bigger chunks, 1.75 or 1 75 to 80k. 2 worst case revisiting 200 EMA 60 to 65. Has become a TradFi safe haven asset and will rally just like other commodities. My reversal outlook is 2 to 4 months. I don't care about the 4-year cycle. Having narrative, fractals, or whatever. Excuse me, sir. This is a fractal. This is a fractal in your photo. Don't care about fractals. You watch your mouth. Times are changing. Look at big tech stocks and check how bear markets and corrections changed over time. This is my opinion. We won't retrace to 40k. Yeah, I think 40k is crazy. I think 60k is kind of crazy, honestly. I'm looking at 70. I think 70 is crazy too, but here we are. You know, we're at freaking 82.9 right now, so 70 is not that out of touch. We might freaking go to 60 or 40. Who knows? I'm not saying that none of this is impossible anymore. Everything's possible. Everything is on the table. TechDev reposted December 31st, 2025. Yes, this is possible, and it wouldn't change a thing. Looking at a retrace and bounce, actually, for Bitcoin off of, what, 60k? Not a thing. The bounce from the parabola visit to the the bounce from the probable visit to the 60k neckline likely starts a 2-year run in tandem with the first business cycle reversal since 2020. That would be a lot of fun. I'm excited. Lunar Entity said, if anything, the IPO will make it easier for their partners to funnel money into them short term. Basically confirms the melt up is coming. Okay, I'll take it. I will take it. Just in, Senate reaches deal to advance package of spending bills to avert U.S. government shutdown. Money printer go burr. Zero Hedge posted, which comes first, Bitcoin 300k or a global liquidity crash which triggers a worldwide depression? I like it. Flood posted, this is a good one. There's one exchange that has been relentlessly selling altcoins since October 10th, almost like they got stuck with a bunch of inventory from portfolio margin. Huh. That's kind of weird, right? I wonder who that is. This one cracked me up. This one was really good because I've unironically been looking at these cool bars of like freaking aluminum and like palladium and iron, just like this cool looking stuff on eBay. And this guy posted, retail investors are about to buy the entire periodic table like they did with altcoins. I'm literally doing this. This was a good one, dude. This is a good post. It's funny shit. Uranium going parabolic. You can't buy that one, unfortunately. I tried. I'm just kidding. I didn't try. Please don't put me on a list. Gold will hit $10,000 by the end of the decade, says Ed Yardini. That is a cool name. Why so bearish, Ed? We got YRI 2025 target hit. My target, by the way, is 5,800. And that I thought that was a crazy, crazy target. And gold is literally at 52. It went all the way up to 56. My target is right here at 58. That's freaking crazy, bro. That's so crazy. Even if we don't hit it, I'm gonna call that a win because we hit that trend line. That's nuts. Actually insane. I'm quite proud of that. Fractal Farquad. Bearish tweet. YRI 2026 target. YRI 2029 target. All right, very nice. Ed Yardini. What a cool name. The odds of March interest rate cut are just 13.5%. Wow. G Immortal said, what happened to Microsoft? Shaved more than total market cap of Ethereum in a day. We read that earlier. I think maybe their earnings were lower than expected, or maybe they're pivoting AI or something like that. There was something that spooked investors. Revenue depreciation, 1% beat is depressing. I can't even talk anymore. Copper explodes to new all-time high. Let's go. Let's go. Really shitty precious metals that nobody ever wants to buy until the price goes up. Yeah. I had a bunch of copper bullion years ago. This is years ago. I had a bunch of copper. I brought it in a jewelry store because they're like, we buy gold and silver. And I'm like, what can I get for these? And he's like, I don't even want to buy them. I was like, okay. Damn. So I went home and I kept them. I'm like, these are cool. I like these. And now they're worth a lot of money. So you should have bought them, buddy. They're probably still unsellable. I'd have to sell them on eBay or something, but I don't plan on selling any of my stuff. I'm going to hoard it like a sociopath. Lululemon gets hammered. The Michael Burry buy recommendation momentum is over. By the way, I would like to point out really quick, Michael Burry told everybody to sell, specifically the S&P. And I think that was like, maybe at like 6K. It was at some dumb low number. Maybe it was right here. And this shit's up a lot for the S&P 500. So far, Michael Burry, one trick pony, man. One trick pony. One hit wonder. Sucks to suck. But also, Michael Burry, if you're watching this for any crazy reason, would love to have you on the channel. Make me look stupid. Lunar Entity said gold drags everything with it, even lumber. Dude, imagine having a house made out of golden wood. That's just literally Austin Powers Gold member, dude. I think I'm gonna watch that tonight. Just on brand with the current market. Gold to hit 6K this spring forecast. Bank of America, forget 5,000. Bank of America sees gold price hitting 6,000 an ounce by spring 2026. Wow. Breaking Bitcoin timber. There you go. There's your lumber. Microsoft destroyed for its biggest loss in 6 years and its 5th worst day in the last 20. Wow. I think a lot of these companies are realizing that AI is, I don't know, there's like this weird rat race to like maximize the revenue potential with AI, and everyone's just like building, and then when they're done, they're gonna have all of this capability, but like nothing to use it. They're gonna be like, well, what do we do with that now? We can do all this stuff, but nobody's willing to pay for that. What do we do with it? Instead of just taking what they have now, which is quite a bit, and using it to build something. They're like, we can do all of these things now and make this profitable. They're not doing that. They're just like R&D like crazy. Like AI, keep building the AI. Step back. Look at what you have and do something with it. It's okay. You can take a deep breath and do something with what you have now. It's crazy. Out of control, man. They're like obsessed with progress. Uranium soars above 100 for the first time since February 2024. And then this one was cool from bar chart. 152 years of S&P 500 returns. 2020. So we got right here recently. 2010, 2012, 2014, 2017, 2020, 2025, and 2026. That's between 10 and 20%, and that is where the most have occurred. The average, I believe, is like 11.24. This one says analysts remain optimistic, expecting on average 12% returns, which goes with, here you go, you get these very small handful of negative days, and it's far outweighed by the positive days. This goes with the Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. If you guys look in the description, there's a link to Amazon. We do get a kickback from that if you buy it there. Otherwise, you don't want to pay for it. The audiobook is free on Audible. The Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Great book. Highly recommend you listen to it. He talks about this. If you literally, and we did the math on stream as well, a little bit different from him. If you put $200 a week into the S&P 500, it will only take you, compounding, it'll only take you 27 years to accumulate $1 million. So if you want to retire at 50, 51, you start at 25, $200 a week. 800, that is $800 a month. That's a lot, but better than nothing. I'm just saying. But it's that simple. It's that easy. Yeah, maybe you don't need $1 million. Maybe you only need 750K. Get there a lot faster. Lunar Entity said language synthesis is a dead end. It is a useful tool, but it cannot be extrapolated. If LLMs are all the AI research can produce, I would also be disappointed as a VC or investor. Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just, there's definitely a weird rat race. I don't know if they're trying to come up with more use case or what's happening, but it's like watching a bunch of crackheads run around. Okay. I think that was it for the news segment. Bitcoin's chilling 82,987. I don't think we need to do a portfolio update. Obviously, the portfolios are all wrecked right now. Monad, interestingly, getting a little action right here. We got a little rejection at 22 and a bounce actually off of our upper trend line right here. So that's interesting. I wonder if it's going to lead the pack to some upwards momentum. Wouldn't that be funny? Wouldn't that be funny? The dumbest, no offense, the dumbest meme coin. Monad, literally like the godfather of dumbass meme coins, created a meme coin. What if that flipped Bitcoin? Just the dumbest possible outcome. Not even fart coin. I think Monad flipping Bitcoin would be more offensive and more stupid than fart coin flipping Bitcoin. Lunar Entity said blockchain would unironically be one of the best use cases for LLM, specifically if it can be deployed and exist on chain. What's really cool about blockchain technology is the decentralized network. That is the coolest part of it, because there's no one point of failure, and it's global. It is global. I don't know. It's just, I was like, I had an existential crisis or an epiphany on my way home from work. I was listening to, I think, Larry Fink talk about tokenization and blockchain, and it dawned on me. I'm like, wow, they actually want this because it is good technology. And it like ran through my brain. I'm like, it's just a giant net, but it's not like one entity. And my brain was like, whoa. I had like a stoner moment. It was pretty dumb. I've been in crypto for like the better part of a decade. And this just dawned on me. I was like, wow, this is a cool thing. This is kind of cool. I don't know. I guess when the prices get really bad, you start thinking about the tech a lot. Oh, shit. All right, guys. It's getting a little bit late here. We've been going for 98 minutes. I appreciate you guys for sticking with me. Let's end our poll. Pretty good results, actually. I asked you guys, everything crashes here. What's your strategy right now? 49% of you guys voted in favor of holding and doing nothing. 23% said buying the dip. 23% said cash is king, sold it all. And 5% said shorting the market. Let's freaking go. We got 22 votes. Record turnout. Appreciate you guys for being here. Subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get to 2,000 subscribers before April because that's my birth month. And I want to have a good birthday because usually April's really bad for the markets. Lunar Entity said, It is also an excellent Trojan horse for the surveillance superstate of the future. Yeah. Mark said, have a good night, all. Take it easy, Mark. Take it easy, Lunar Entity. Take it easy, everybody else. I appreciate you guys for being here. Tomorrow's Friday, so it's going to be a chill time. I'm probably going to be late tomorrow as well for stream, but I will stream every single day for over a year now. So we'll be here every single day along the way, see where the markets take us. Even if everything goes to zero, we'll still be here. Primo copium and some sick fractals along the way. As always, guys, when the market starts to do anything crazy, I will hop back on. Otherwise, I will see you all tomorrow. Don't forget to smash the like button on your way out. Happy Thursday, and good night.